I knew that he is a pro-Zionist, but I did not know to this extent. Let's take a listen what he has to say.
Cuomo, thank you very much for joining me here at News Nation. I'll be honest with you. I'm not really sure what to say. And that had me laboring all Labor Day weekend. How can it be hard to discuss why the murder of 6 Israeli and American hostages matters? 6 young people stolen from the Nova Music Festival by Hamas on October 7th. Then, just as the IDF was close to rescuing them after almost a year of searching, they were reportedly executed. And now I'm left with nothing but questions. But there are questions we all have to answer. The first one is, why don't these faces unify us? At least here at home. Carmel Gott, Eden Yerushalmi, Alexander Lobanov, Almog Sarusi, Master Sergeant Ori Danino. Young people that could have been part of the solution lost to the problem. And there's one face we know more about, Hirsch Goldberg Poland, 23-year-old Israeli-American taken and now murdered along with the others. His smiley Punim has been the poster for the hostage crisis. I remember it when I first saw it all over his parents' house in Tel Aviv just after October 7th, when I was blown away by John and Rachel's love and commitment. Their hope and mine was that telling their story would help more connect to what is so wrong here, to what matters.
Okay, so he failed miserably, intentionally, to call out Netanyahu for all of these issues, for all of these problems. If you do not know, Gershon Baskin, he is a Israeli negotiator, peace negotiator with Hamas. He accused Netanyahu for not bringing the hostages back, for not agreeing to any peace deal, any ceasefire deal with Hamas. He is again from Israel. Then we have also seen how IDF, he failed, Chris Cuomo, to call out IDF for this kind of dangerous operation in the tunnels where they know that their own people from the Zionist state are being held as captive. Chris Cuomo did not make mention of that at all. Chris Cuomo also failed to acknowledge the genocide that is taking place as we speak. 40 people got killed yesterday. No mentioning of any of the killings by Chris Cuomo. He, in the beginning of this video, I'm not sure if you have noticed it, I'll probably play it one more time. He was huffing and puffing, and he was taking a deep breath, and he was showing his frustration, his sadness over this hostage killing. Chris Cuomo, he needs some mental help, because when you have a liar like him, you do have to believe that something is wrong with this individual, as we in medical term call them narcissists. Narcissists, they do not feel empathy. They fail to show compassion, love, and care for other people. This is exactly what he is demonstrating here, a narcissistic behavior on full display. Let's take a listen more.
Now I have to wonder, did I help anything at all? I wonder in part because of how this news has been received. First, why are all these lost souls merely called deaths? So many media accounts put it this way. Did they die in an accidental crash or from cancer in that time?
Look at how he is questioning the media. Does it have to be called death, mere death? Like, no, the media is not calling it this death. I mean, you just highlighted few of the headlines from few newspapers, but most of the time they call it murder. For example, BBC, CNN, they put their headline as, well, Zionist or Israeli got murdered. But when it comes to the Palestinian, they were just killed. This screenshot that he's sharing with you guys is a screenshot of just few news outlets. AP News, MS, I don't know, what is it, Reuters and Guardian. That's about it. And so Chris Cuomo is questioning this. Oh, should we call this just death? How come the news channels are calling this just deaths?
Tunnel? No, Hirsch and the others were assassinated. Targeted murders performed by terrorists to remind that they want no one saved from them. A reaction was sent to me by a friend of Hirsch's family, and they asked some hard questions. Listen to this.
Look at him.
Before he was murdered by Hamas in those final moments, was he aware of his parents' anguished pleas, quite possibly at the same moment, broadcasting at the Gaza?
I'm not going to be playing that video, Chris Cuomo. Let's move on with this one.
Was he able to hear that? Was he able to hear the footsteps of the battle-hardened Israeli soldiers who were finally closing in after almost a year of trying to save him?
Yeah, almost a year of this genocide. Why don't you say that? 1 year of genocide, continuous genocide, and every single day there is death in Gaza. But when one person got killed, who was a hostage, and there is this arguments by the analysts and many pundits and people on the ground, they're debating on these deaths. Some of them are saying these are people who got killed by IDF. They shot them, from a close range. Some other reports are saying that they got killed in the process of the rescue operation. Some other people say, well, no, it is Hamas who did that. Regardless of what it is, this whole thing could have been stopped if they had agreed to the ceasefire. His own government, Chris Cuomo, military officials from the U.S. military, they blamed Netanyahu for failing to reach a negotiation or not wanting to have a negotiation, a ceasefire with Hamas. And they have said, quote unquote, Netanyahu is torpedoing the whole progress that they have made. So Chris Cuomo is just out there talking just like a windbag, making no sense, all the while exposing his hypocrisy by telling us one side of the story and completely hiding the other side of the story. He proved another point that we have said so many times, that this Western media, they do not want to show anything about the plight of the Palestinian people. And this is exactly what he had been doing. He was called out by Bassem Youssef. He was called out by his friends from Zitio, Hassan Mehdi. He was called out, Chris Cuomo, in the past of his hypocrisy many, many times. Does he pay heed? Of course not. He wants to just babble and go on a rant and talk about just one side of the story, hoping that he will gain sympathy from the Zionists and that he can rally a lot of people behind him with his narrative of we are the victim, the Israelis are the victim, and that we need to support them. This is absolutely horrendous. What I heard from him is a complete exposure of his hypocrisy. He needs mental help, and that is my final point, guys. Thank you so much for joining.